Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we are diving into the world of American coins and uncovering one of the most interesting and valuable modern-era coins that you might have hiding in your collection, the 1972 United States half dollar. This coin may look like just another piece of pocket change, but in the world of collectors and numismatics it carries a history, a story, and in some cases, a surprising amount of value. Let's begin with the background. The half dollar is one of the most iconic American denominations. Since 1964 it has carried the profile of John F. Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States, who was tragically assassinated in 1963. When Kennedy was killed, the nation wanted a lasting tribute, and Congress along with the U.S. Mint quickly approved the redesign of the half dollar to honor him. Within months, the Kennedy half dollar was born, and since then it has been a coin loved by collectors all over the world. Now fast forward to 1972. At this point, the coin had already undergone a major change. The first year of issue in 1964 was struck in 90% silver. But after that, beginning in 1965, the government reduced the silver content because of rising silver prices. From 1965 to 1970, the coins were struck in 40% silver for special issues. By 1971, however, the silver was completely removed from circulation strikes. This means that the 1972 Kennedy half dollar is a copper nickel-clad coin, made of copper core with nickel coating, similar to quarters and dimes of that era. But what makes the 1972 half dollar special? Well, even though millions of these coins were struck for circulation, certain varieties, conditions, and mint errors can make this coin worth far more than 50 cents. In fact, depending on the version you have, it could be worth a handful of dollars, hundreds of dollars, and in rare cases even thousands. Let's talk mint marks. In 1972, half dollars were produced at 3 different mints. Coins struck in Philadelphia carried no mint mark. Coins from Denver carried a small D mint mark located just above the date. And coins from San Francisco carried an S mint mark. Now here's the interesting part. The San Francisco Mint was producing special proof coins, as well as collector issues. These proof coins were struck with special dies and polished planchets, giving them a mirror-like surface. Collectors who got the 1972 proof sets may still have those beautiful coins today, and some of them are worth quite a lot, especially if they are graded highly by professional grading services. When we look at market value, the story gets even more exciting. A common 1972 half dollar pulled from circulation might only be worth its face value of 50 cents, maybe $1 or $2 if it is in uncirculated condition. But once you move into higher grades, such as Mint State 65 or Mint State 66, the value can rise significantly. Collectors will pay $20, $50, sometimes even over $100 for a coin in perfect condition. Depending on demand, proof coins from San Francisco can be even more valuable. A perfect proof 70 coin, with flawless surfaces, has sold for hundreds of dollars. And then there are errors. Some 1972 half dollars feature double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and other unusual mistakes. These error coins are highly sought after and can easily bring in hundreds if not thousands of dollars at auction. So how do you know if you have one of these valuable 1972 half dollars? The first step is to look closely at the date and mint mark. If you see an S, you might have a proof coin. If you see a D or no mint mark, it is a circulation strike, but still check its condition. Coins that appear shiny, free of scratches, and have strong luster are candidates for higher grading and higher value. Next, check for errors. A strong double die would show doubling on the letters, numbers, or features of Kennedy's portrait. Off-center strikes will look unusual, with part of the design missing. And clipped planchets will have a chunk missing from the edge of the coin. Another important factor is grading. Professional grading companies like PCGS and NGC assign a grade to coins on a 70-point scale. The higher the grade, the higher the value. A 1972 half dollar in average circulated condition is worth very little, but in Mint State 67 it could fetch hundreds, and if it is a proof 70 deep cameo it could sell for an impressive amount in the market today. Now let's talk about the current market. Collectors continue to pay strong prices for high-grade 1972 Kennedy half dollars. Auction records show some of these coins selling for over $1,000 when they are in pristine condition. Even today, coin shows, online marketplaces, and auctions list these coins with active bidding and interest. The Kennedy half-dollar remains one of the most collected modern coins, and the 1972 issue is a must-have for anyone building a complete set.so. If you come across a 1972 half-dollar in your change, or if you find one in an old jar of coins, don't overlook it. Take a close look, check the mint mark, examine the condition, and consider getting it graded if it looks especially sharp. You just might be holding onto a coin that is worth far more than you think. To wrap it up, the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar may not have any silver content, but its history, its connection to President Kennedy, and its collector demand make it a fascinating coin. Whether it's a common circulation strike, a dazzling proof coin, or a rare error piece, the value can range anywhere from pocket change to serious money. This is what makes coin collecting so exciting. The treasures are out there, waiting to be discovered, and sometimes they're sitting right in your pocket. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1972 half-dollar, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more coin history and value videos, and leave a comment below letting me know if you've ever found one of these coins. Who knows, your next find could be worth a fortune. Today we are diving deep into the fascinating world of United States coinage, and we have a very special focus. We are talking all about the 1984 Kennedy half-dollar coin. Now this is a coin that might seem like just another piece of pocket change at first glance, but the truth is much more exciting. The 1984 half-dollar has history, hidden gems, and in some cases serious value. If you have one of these coins sitting around in a drawer, a piggy bank, or maybe in a coin roll from the bank, you could be holding something worth a whole lot more than 50 cents. Let's start with the background. The Kennedy half-dollar was first minted in 1964 as a tribute to President John F. Kennedy after his tragic assassination in 1963. The American public embraced the coin immediately. People were hoarding them, saving them, and treating them as a national keepsake. The half-dollar became one of the most iconic coins of modern America. By the time 1984 rolled around, the design had already been in circulation for 20 years. On the obverse side we have the bold portrait of President Kennedy designed by Gilroy Roberts. On the reverse side we see the presidential seal with the eagle holding arrows and an olive branch, a design created by Frank Gasparro. Now, here is where the story gets interesting. In 1984, the United States Mint produced Kennedy half-dollars in two different facilities. Coins with a small d mint mark were struck at the Denver Mint. Coins with a p mint mark were struck at the Philadelphia Mint. And if you come across a 1984 S mint mark, those are special proof coins struck at the San Francisco Mint. The regular Philadelphia and Denver coins were made in huge numbers for circulation, while the San Francisco coins were carefully struck for collectors with a mirror-like finish. Most people assume that coins minted in the 1980s are only worth face value because they are modern and common. But collectors know that value is not only about age. It is about rarity, condition, and special varieties. The 1984 half-dollar is a perfect example. Circulated coins that show heavy wear are usually only worth 50 cents. But once you step into the world of uncirculated coins and high grades certified by companies like PCGS or NGC, the prices start to climb dramatically. A brilliant uncirculated 1984 P or D half-dollar can sell for a few dollars. But if you find one graded MS66, MS67 or higher, the value can jump to $50, $100, or even several $100s. Some of the highest known grades for this year have sold for over $1,000 at auction. Now let's talk about errors, because error coins are what get collectors really excited. The US Mint is a massive operation and sometimes mistakes happen. With the 1984 half-dollar there are known varieties that include double-die obverse errors where the lettering or the date appears doubled. There are also off-center strikes where the design is not properly aligned on the planchette. You can also find coins with missing mint marks or filled mint marks caused by die chips. Any of these unusual features can turn an ordinary 50-cent coin into something worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Proof coins from San Francisco in 1984 are also highly collectible. A standard proof might only bring a few dollars, but a perfect proof coin graded PR70 can command impressive premiums. Some collectors are willing to pay over $100 or more for the absolute best examples. And if you happen to find a proof with a cameo or deep cameo contrast, that frosted design against the mirror background, the value increases even further. So what is the current market like for the 1984 half dollar today? As of right now, collectors are always on the hunt for gem quality coins from this year. Circulated examples are still common, but finding pristine examples is becoming harder as time goes on. In online marketplaces like eBay, raw uncirculated coins often sell in the $5 to $15 range. Certified high-grade coins are bringing in much larger prices. At major auction houses you can see hammer prices in the hundreds for the top populations. And error coins are unpredictable. A dramatic double die or an off-center strike can sell for whatever a collector is willing to pay, and sometimes that number surprises everyone. One thing to remember is that the Kennedy half-dollar series remains one of the most beloved in US coin collecting. There are enthusiasts who try to build complete date and mint mark sets. Others only chase high-grade examples. And then there are those who specialize in error coins. All of these factors drive demand for the 1984 half dollar in particular. So the big takeaway is this: if you come across a 1984 Kennedy half dollar, do not dismiss it as just 50 cents. Look closely. Check the mint mark. Examine the details. If the coin has sharp luster, minimal scratches, or unusual features, it could be a hidden treasure. Consider getting it graded if you think it might qualify for a high mint state grade. Even if it is not a jackpot coin, the history and collectability make it an excellent piece to add to your collection. Before we wrap up, let me share one fascinating detail. In 1984, the half dollar was no longer a coin you commonly received in change. Most businesses and banks did not order them in large quantities anymore. That means fewer people saw them in circulation, which helped preserve some coins in much better condition. This is another reason high-grade survivors are so desirable today. So there you have it. The story of the 1984 United States half-dollar coin. A piece of modern American history that still captures the imagination of collectors worldwide. From its origins as a tribute to President Kennedy, to its role in the modern coin market, and its surprising potential value today, the 1984 half dollar proves once again that every coin has a story, and sometimes that story is worth a lot of money. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin collecting, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next video. And tell me in the comments, have you ever found a valuable half dollar coin in your change or in a coin roll hunt? I would love to hear your stories. Thank you for watching, and until next time, happy collecting.